This is a special show for me. And listen, every guest is special. You have a lot of people on with inspiring stories that have turned a tragedy or a negative into a positive. This show is, like I said, it's real special to me. It's Ronald Mann, someone that I have actually watched over the years, his achievements. He's an Army vet. He lost his lower leg in a motorcycle wreck in 1995. It's been a hard road, but he's turned it into gold, literally. It's my honor. Ronald, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Dan, thank you for having me today. I appreciate it, brother.
Listen, I know everyone has spoken to you about this. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I've got to ask you, I mean, you coming out of the Army and being so active as you were, to have that traumatic accident with the motorcycle and to lose your lower leg, obviously it was life-changing, but what was it inside you that gave you the ability to turn that around?
That's, I was raised that way. Hard work and determination will overcome anything as long as you have the right mindset. And being in the military, that was part of my family's heritage, and I'm proud to have served in the United States Army and served this country. When I got off active duty, I'd already been on the Army Taekwondo team in Korea and won the Korea-wide championship there. And so I continued on and seen the first UFCs coming around, and thought that I wanted to do that, but I didn't have the mental focus for it. I didn't have the passion and the drive for it. So I got off active duty with the intention of going back to college to get my degree and returned to active duty as an officer, to be the first officer in my family. Unfortunately, 92 days after I left active duty, I lost my leg in a motorcycle accident. And it was soon after that, fortunately I survived. My buddy, Dougie Hussett, he was there and saved my life that day. He was a combat medic with me and saved my life. And, those first 90 days, didn't really know. Like, it was the first 30 days, at the end of 30 days, I had a pistol to my head because I didn't really want to be broken. I was only 24 at the time. The prime of my life, right off active duty, I was untouchable. But it was at the last moment, when I was getting ready to pull the trigger, something inside me told me, no, you can't quit like this. You can't go out like this. You're gonna die. You gotta die fighting. You can't die quitting. And after I put that pistol back down the table, I've never looked back. I started lifting weights that week in the gym. My friends would take me to the gym, and they'd actually have to bring me the weights because I was still on crutches, and I was so weak and destroyed, but slowly built back up. I found a gym in Lansing, Michigan that would let me train. Everybody else had turned me away. This was 21 years ago.
Yeah.
They didn't have para-athletes in the Olympics. They didn't have the Paralympics. They didn't have athletes on TV and commercials. We were kind of shunned away. So I had to go from gym to gym until I found one that accepted me. And being able to come back into the martial arts, that's what saved my life. I talk about today, like, jiu-jitsu saved my life. It really did. Being able to come back into this kind of a family. Martial arts for me isn't just a sport. It's a way of life. It's a physical journey, but there's an emotional path to it as well, a spiritual path. And it helps you become a better human being. It helps me become a better human being.
Well, Ron, you hear it all the time. Right back to boxing, that it gives an outlet to those that maybe don't have a path, and every fighter I speak to talks to the fact of discipline, structure, respect, and those are the things that are given or that are taken from martial arts, and you've done that. But you have taken it to a whole different level, though, Ronald. I mean, we're talking about world champion, Abu Dhabi. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because that to me is amazing.
That's the part of the most amazing journey. I won the 107-pound Capital City cage fighting from Ryan De Leon against an able-bodied person, and held the belt and defended my title. And I thought that was as good as could be, winning the cage tournaments. But then about a year ago, I retired from cage fighting for about a year, and then about a year ago, I started hearing this rumors about a World Jiu-Jitsu Federation and going to Abu Dhabi. And we didn't really know if it was going to happen. I'd started training with Matthew Linsenmeyer at Magic Jiu-Jitsu in Lansing, Michigan. And I never really loved Jiu-Jitsu before, but when I started training with them, there's some high-level characters in there. I always open the guard by smashing elbows in somebody's face.
Yeah.
How playing in Jiu-Jitsu, the speed and the skill and the technical aspect of it has opened my world again to a new game, And so I started training, and all of a sudden, 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday night, I got a call from like 14 or 15 digits on the phone. I'm like, no, all right, let me see who's this crazy man calling me. And it was Alcerle Silva from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And we started talking about the UAE JJF World Tournament in Abu Dhabi. And as a grappler, as a fighter, Abu Dhabi is the holy land, man. That's the place you want to be.
The pinnacle.
And what's that?
The pinnacle.
It's the pinnacle of grappling arts. And we talked about it. He kind of talked to me and asked me some questions. And he knew that I was a cage fighter. He'd seen some of my YouTube videos. And he goes, well, let me take a look at your videos and get back to you. And he saw the championship bout. In the title against Jimmy Milton, I ended up breaking Jimmy's arm.
Yeah.
He was ruining me. Really strong, very good fighter. Taking me down. Second round, he took me down right away. And I was like, I can't take this anymore. So I had to attack. And attacked his left arm. And I ended up catching him an arm bar, and he didn't tap out in time. And in the cage, there's no going back. You either tap out or that's it.
Yep.
Alcerle Silva saw that, and he called me back about 10 minutes later after he watched the video and told me we would be honored to have you fight in Abu Dhabi for America. And this year, I was the only American selected out of 65 players around the entire world. They brought the best players from around the world. I was the only American selected to go to Abu Dhabi this year.
And now I want people to understand, we're not just speaking about someone that's missing a limb or part of a limb. We're speaking about able-bodied men, period. And you have gotten to the level where that is, I guess I looked at Nick Newell and I seen benefits that he had with his birth defect with chokes and stuff. Do you find that with your accident and losing the lower half of your leg that there are benefits to that when you're grappling?
So let me look at it like this. If a pro NFL player could become better because he cut his leg off, they would.
Oh, yeah.
You see it, right. Steroids, training, wild, crazy stories about what they do to become elite athletes. Yep. There is no general benefit to becoming disabled or being born with a disability. You overcome it. You get stronger for it. And I'm fortunate that I've been blessed in the martial arts and given this path. Not everybody can do this, but not everybody wants to do this either. I feel I have responsibility as a person with a disability and as a martial artist to lead the way and show people what can be done. Not everybody has to be a world champion fighter, but if you can, and that's something you have a passion for, you should strive as hard as you need to.
There's no doubt about it. And what an inspiration, Ronald, for everyone to look at that and see. And now what is happening with the para that you were speaking about? Is that moving forward? Are we going to see something in the future with this?
We've been sponsored by UAE JJF for the next 5 years.
Wow.
To have para tournaments, para categories included in all their Grand Slams. So 5 Grand Slams around the world. The first one's coming up in Tokyo, and then Los Angeles, Brazil, Moscow, England, and then back into Abu Dhabi. When we came over there 2 months ago, that's the first time that we'd ever had an international tournament. I'm fighting Grappling Industries this weekend. Just before Worlds, I fought Grappling Industries, but it's against able-bodied people.
Yeah.
And I took gold in that fight. And so I'm beating able-bodied guys. It shows true ability. This is truly what we can do. And I love jiu-jitsu. I love para jiu-jitsu because you don't need a running leg. You don't need a a paddle leg. You don't need any kind of adaptive equipment. Opposed to that, you're not allowed to wear any adaptive equipment. The guys that are B13 category, that are completely wheelchair bound, have to get out of wheelchairs when they get to the mat, come to the center on their own mobility, whatever that is, and fight from there. And that truly shows what we can do with our bodies and our minds. We overcome our limitations, our perceived limitations, on the mat.
To me, it's amazing. It's literally amazing to watch. And you got to run into the guys that are looking and thinking, well, come on, I've got a little more on him. I think I'm going to take him. And they feel that strength, and more than anything, the technique, especially in the scrambles.
Right.
Looking at some tape on you, you have you're a big man. And some serious scramble ability. I was really impressed watching. And you are leading the way. You have turned this into something that is going to benefit so many and basically set precedents for the future. That's got to make you feel good.
That's unfortunate. After losing my leg, I had good people around me to help guide me back on the path, but it was something inside me that continued to push. I was the first amputee to fight in kickboxing matches. We had to sneak into our tournaments back then in Chicago. They wouldn't allow us to fight, so I went all the way from Lansing to Chicago, snuck into tournaments there to fight in kickboxing. And the leg is padded up enough and safe enough that we could get away with it. And then I went cage fighting, won a title in cage fighting, and now I've gone to jiu-jitsu, and I've won a world championship in Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Like that, to me, that was the elite of where I could go. I've been training for so long and trying to show the world, like, this is really what we can do with ourselves. I mean, cage fighting is a rough sport, but to me, that's truly the pinnacle of where you can go. Jiu-jitsu is for everybody.
That's right.
It's not a damn easy sport. You can play it and go to work the next day. You can have a tournament the weekend and go back and take care of your kids that same day. From the way I won it, when I went to Abu Dhabi, they invited me, and I was B1 85 pound kilo category. The guy fought from Australia. I beat him in 23 seconds. The next fastest submission was 4 minutes and some odd seconds. I mean, it's the disparity there. The ability to focus myself over 20 years for that moment, that was truly amazing for me. It was a gift given to me by a lot of people that helped bring me up. That also set the standard, though.
It really shows the mindset. I mean, because, let's be honest, when you're able to overcome what you have, these other obstacles in life that seem so hard for everyone else, maybe you look at them a little different, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, to achieve Abu Dhabi and to be the king, I don't know that you can get higher than that. What are you looking at for the future? What are your goals now, Ron?
So I was asked after I won the fashion that I won, that jiu-jitsu is a sport and you're not there to play for points, you're there to win. I always fight for submission. The way I approach it allowed me to win in that fashion, and then I was asked by Sheikh Mohammed and Rodrigo Valera from Brazil to form a U.S. para-jiu-jitsu team. We're under the UAE JJF, and we've begun collecting players. I've got 35 guys now-ish that have some form of limb disability. And our next big tournament is coming up. They're doing Japan right now. That's in July. September, we're going to have the first American para-jiu-jitsu tournament. And it's sponsored by the UAE JJF. There's 13 categories. We're collecting guys from all over the Americas right now. We'll have players from Mexico and Canada, but Team USA, we've developed the Team USA into 5 different regions. And as we'll show on this one, we'll show like, this is truly what we have. This is what we have to offer. And we'll bring players from all over the United States. After UAE, after I went to Abu Dhabi and won, I was recruited by His Holiness Sheikh Mohammed and Rodrigo Valera from Brazil to form a U.S. para-jiu-jitsu team. So with the support of El Silva, with the support of the UAE JJF, we are actually going to have 5 Grand Slams on the world. Ours in America will be in Los Angeles on September 23rd. Right now, we've got about 30 to 35 players in America that are living disabled, and maybe half, two-thirds of those are committed to going and fighting in Los Angeles. And we're collecting new players all the time. As word gets out through media, through friends, through family, we see more and more people coming up for para-jiu-jitsu. This first one in Los Angeles, we've only got a small contingent in America right now. This is going to be to show people that this is what we bring to the table. This is why we should be included in the category. This is why we should be included in tournaments. There's enough of us playing that we should have our division. I will always play against able-bodied people as well. But for people who don't want to or cannot compete on that level, we should have a category for para players.
Amen.
And that's what UAJJF is bringing for us. So we've divided the Americas into five regions now in the United States. This first time is all one United States. But after this, we've already got Pan Asians in 2019 guaranteed. So we'll have 2 years to get regionals developed in these 5 areas and make the best players that we can for the Pan Asian. This has only been 2 months since Abu Dhabi. I try to keep that in my mind because I'm like, I want to show the world the gift of para-jiu-jitsu. I want to give it back to those who gave it to me and for the next generation coming up. It's not about me anymore. Like, I've already achieved what I can. Now I'm trying to give the gift back that was given to me.
And I mean, what a huge statement. As a person, as a human being, it shows your character, your drive, your selflessness. Being in the Army, growing up the way you did, you're always there for your brother, got your brother's back, supporting your friend, your family, and you're doing it now in a different way. And this is amazing because this is global. This touches, many lives. So the short amount of time since Abu Dhabi, like you said, we're talking under 3 months.
Right.
That's a pretty big accomplishment. And is there anything that the people out there and the fans that they can do to help support?
Well, right now, I just started a GoFundMe account. Of course, this costs money to fight and train and travel.
Yeah.
We're collecting donations through the GoFundMe to support me as I'm continuing on my journey. I'm going to keep fighting for the next couple of years to lead the way. I think I need to. I think I've accomplished what I need to in my life, but I still have something to give back.
Yep.
So I need support through what I'm doing. Adam and Geese, they've already picked me up. They were the ones that gave me the gi to go to Abu Dhabi. I didn't have a nice enough gi. It's kind of rough, I couldn't afford a nice gi to go to Abu Dhabi. And Professor Yamasaki, I'm very fortunate that I'm with his team out here in DC.
Yeah.
Professor Yamasaki, he has given us his full support. We're trying to form a team here in DC. Professor Yamasaki has given us mat space, time. Coach Sean Divney is going to be the head coach of the team here in DC. Professor Yamasaki, before I went to Abu Dhabi, he had a gi made for me from Adama, and there was a tailored to jiu-jitsu standard, and then he gave that to me as my gift to go across.
Wow.
And my old raggedy white belt that I've been carrying around for 21 years wouldn't be accepted on the mat in tournament level. It's just not uniform standard. He gave me his own white belt so I could take that across seas, and
wow.
That's the kind of support that we're getting now. That's the kind of people that we have behind us, like people like Professor Yamasaki, people like Jan Stakoza, OPC out here, Elliot and Ben, they make the legs that I walk on. If I didn't have that to be able to continue on my life, to do everything else I needed to do, everybody sees the fighter, but they don't see the whole team behind us.
Exactly.
And we can get up there for that minute, but if we don't have a good team with us, it's not going to happen. So the people that are helping us, that are guiding us, those are the ones that are standing next to us, like standing next to me.
I couldn't have said it better because it is about the team. And at the end of the day, you're right. We see the athletes perform for that small amount of time when they're competing. The rest is training and team and support. And, that's got to be just an amazing thing for you with the gi. I mean, I can feel it, that it's something that was so important to you.
For somebody to, like, it's difficult for me to say. Like, it's hard for me to even swallow that I couldn't afford a nice ski to go across seas. I was just training as best I could. Like, we're doing the best we can. And for somebody to step up and to offer me this gift, like, to me, life is a gift. But these moments, I only have one more minute to live.
Yeah.
I flatlined twice on my motorcycle ride in, or my chopper ride in. I died twice on the table.
No.
And I realized that this is truly a gift. And the way Professor Yamasaki is supporting us, it's those kind of things that make the difference. Everybody is solid, everybody's squared, but the difference between a good fighter and a great fighter is small little things. The way that my teammates treat me at Yamasaki, they treat me just like one of them. And steel sharpens steel. I came out to DC to join Yamasaki specifically when I found out that I was going to fight in Worlds. My team, Matthew Linsmeyer, they got me started on the path there at Magic. But I'd seen Sean Divney for years. He helped me do nonprofit work out here in DC to raise money for children who can't afford prosthetics. I've seen Sean come up through Yamasaki Academy and seen his amazing development as a fighter and as a player, as a person. So for me to come out here, I had good family out here. I had good friends. I've got work and veterans work out here, serving my fellow veterans. But coming out to Yamasaki and being allowed to join this team and train with these players, it's a dream for me. Professor, when I got back from Abu Dhabi and I took Worlds, he promoted me. And when he brought me up there to promote me, I didn't know what was going to happen. He asked me to speak about bring home the medal and everything, but he was talking to the family and friends that were around there, and we had the kids team there so they could see it. And he talked about, I won a championship in the cage, I won a champion on the mat, and now I'm a champion in life. And for a man of that stature to say that about me, I'm truly blessed. I'm one of the lucky ones, man.
But this story is incredible, Ronald. I mean, it literally is. And I know you have spoken to this story from the beginning over and over and over, but you continue to make it bigger and bigger by going and winning Abu Dhabi and doing incredible things. And it's an inspiration to me, man. I'm honored to have you on the show, Ronald. And I'll tell you what, anything that I can do or we can do to help, we're right there behind you. Do you have any shout outs, people you want to thank, company sponsors?
OPC with Elliot, they make the legs that I walk on these days. Jan Stakoza back in Michigan, he was the first one to pick me up as a fighter and believed in me. He was this 1972 judo Olympian as well and understood my path. He makes the legs that I walk on the way the ones that I live on. Again, without him, I wouldn't have found this path. But with Team Yamasaki, Magic, the crew that I have, and not just the crew that I have currently, like the friends and family I've made going along the way on this martial journey, those are the ones that continue to do this for. Like, this is my family. They help support me when I can't support myself and help push me out a little bit more. So when it's time for me to step on the mat in the cage, that's where you see true victory. So it's, I've got family and crew everywhere, but without them, I wouldn't be who I am today.
That's right. And man, that's well said, Ronald. I'll tell you, I could talk with you for hours. So I want to get a commitment out of you that you'll come back on the show in the future and we'll recap and let everybody know how this is moving forward. And can I get you to commit to that?
Dan, I'd be happy to anytime. For the way that you've handled this and helped bring this to light, to bring it to the folks that are on Fight TV and watching us, like, this is a targeted audience who wants to see us succeed, and you're helping us get there, man. So I really appreciate you bringing this on. We'll have the fights in September. Hopefully I'll talk to you before then. If not, after I win gold in September, I'll talk to you then.
That's fantastic. I will definitely hold you to that, and I will be watching, as will many, many others be watching. You guys, I'll tell you, sometimes you do a show and you always have a good time, but sometimes you walk away from it and you see the bigger picture. And that's exactly what's happened with this show. Ronald, again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. It definitely has been my honor. So listen, guys, for Fight TV, for Modern Pugilist Entertainment, for Ronald Mann, I'm Dan Cox, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Dan.